Stop trying to manifest money. I know that sounds like the opposite of what you came here to learn, but if you have been visualizing, affirming, scripting, and working hard to attract financial abundance and it is still not here, then what I am about to tell you is the most important thing you will hear about money. The trying is the problem, not the technique, not the visualization, not the affirmation, the trying itself. Because the act of trying contains a hidden signal that your subconscious broadcasts to the quantum field 24 hours a day. And that signal says, I do not have it yet. I am working toward it. It is not here. And the field, which is a perfect mirror, reflects that signal back as your financial reality. Not here, not yet. Still working. Neville Goddard was absolute about this. He said that the moment you try to manifest something, you have already failed, because trying implies absence. And absence is what you manifest when you try. Today you are going to learn why trying is the one mistake that makes every other technique useless. You're going to learn the 4 ways that trying sabotages your wealth without your awareness. And you are going to learn what to do instead. A shift so simple that your mind will resist believing it could possibly work. But the simplicity is the point, because the quantum field does not respond to complexity. It responds to assumption, and assumption is the opposite of effort. To understand why trying blocks money, you need to know something about how the quantum field processes human intention. In quantum physics, the observer effect shows that the act of observation determines which possibility becomes reality. But what most people miss is the quality of that observation. There are 2 fundamentally different ways to observe a desired reality. The first is from a state of wanting. You observe the money you desire from the position of someone who does not have it. Your observation is charged with need, with hope, with effort. And that charged observation collapses a specific possibility into form. The possibility of continuing to want. The possibility of continuing to not have. The second way to observe is from a state of having. You observe your financial reality from the position of someone who already has what they desire. Your observation is calm, natural, unforced. And that neutral observation collapses a different possibility. The possibility of having. The possibility of it being done. Both observations look similar on the surface. Both involve imagining a desired financial reality. But the energetic signature behind them is completely different. One broadcasts lack, the other broadcasts completion, and the quantum field responds to the signature, not to the picture. Neville Goddard captured this perfectly. He said that the feeling of the wish fulfilled is not excitement. It is relief, not anticipation, satisfaction. Not the emotion of something coming, the emotion of something that already came and is now simply part of your life. That shift from trying to having is not a mental trick. It is a fundamental change in your electromagnetic broadcast. The HeartMath Institute has shown that the heart generates an electromagnetic field 5,000 times stronger than the brain. When your heart broadcasts the signal of trying, of striving, of needing, it emits a frequency of contraction. When it broadcasts the signal of having, of completion, of already being wealthy, it emits a frequency of expansion. Same heart, same field, completely different signal, and the quantum field responds to the louder signal. Your heart always wins over your thoughts, always. This is why affirmations fail for most people. They repeat words of abundance while their heart broadcasts scarcity, and the field listens to the heart, not because the heart is more spiritual, because the heart is electromagnetically louder, 5,000 times louder. Your affirmation whispers wealth, while your heart screams lack. And the field which responds to signal strength hears only the scream. When you stop trying, something remarkable happens to your heart's broadcast. The desperation signal fades, the striving signal quiets, and what remains is your natural baseline, which for most people, once the noise is removed, is actually much closer to abundance than they realize. You have been broadcasting abundance underneath the noise of trying your entire life. You just could not hear it over the volume of your own effort. Before I reveal the 4 ways that trying sabotages your wealth, do something right now. Hit the like button. Notice that you are not trying to like this video, you are simply doing it. That effortlessness is the energy of this entire teaching. Subscribe and turn on notifications. and write in the comments, "I stopped trying." Those 3 words are the most powerful financial declaration you can make. Not "I am manifesting money," not "I am attracting wealth." I stopped trying. Because in those words is the surrender that activates everything. Do it now. The first way trying sabotages your wealth is through what I call the desperation frequency. And it operates below your conscious awareness every moment of every day. When you try to manifest money, your body enters a state of mobilization. Your shoulders tense, your breathing becomes shallow, your jaw clenches, your cortisol rises. These are not random physical responses. They are the signature of an organism that is pursuing something it does not have. And that signature is broadcast through your electromagnetic field into every interaction you have. Have you ever noticed that people who desperately need money seem to repel it? Opportunities dry up, clients disappear, deals fall through. It is not coincidence, it is frequency. The desperation frequency tells every person, every opportunity, and every possibility in your field that you are operating from lack. And people unconsciously respond to lack by pulling away, not because they are cruel, because the human nervous system is designed to move away from desperation and toward calm. Think of it like holding sand in your hands. The tighter you grip, the more it escapes through your fingers. But when you hold your hands open and relaxed, the sand stays. Money operates the same way in your energetic field. The harder you try to hold it, attract it, force it, the more it slips away. But when you stop trying, when you open your hands, when you release the grip of desperation, money has space to land. A man in his late 50s described this shift with startling clarity. He said, "I spent 20 years in sales, chasing every lead, pushing every deal, working every angle, and I was always behind quota, always stressed, always trying harder. One year I got so burned out I stopped caring. Not in a depressed way, I just let go of the obsession. And that year, without trying harder, without changing my strategy, without working more hours, I had the best year of my career. By far. The money came when I stopped chasing it." His body had been broadcasting desperation for 20 years, and every prospect, every client, every opportunity was responding to that broadcast by pulling back. When the broadcast changed, the response changed. Not because the market changed, because his frequency changed. There is a neuroscience dimension to this that makes it even more concrete. When your body is in a state of desperation, your prefrontal cortex, the part of the brain responsible for creative problem-solving and long-term planning, literally shuts down. Cortisol floods your system and redirects resources to your amygdala, the survival center. In this state, you cannot see opportunities even when they are directly in front of you. Your brain is scanning for threats, not possibilities. This means that the desperation frequency does not just repel money energetically. It degrades your cognitive ability to recognize and capitalize on financial opportunities. You become neurologically incapable of seeing wealth while your body is broadcasting desperation. The same person, with the same intelligence, sees completely different financial possibilities, depending on whether their body is in a state of desperation or calm. In desperation, they see threats, scarcity, and competition. In calm, they see opportunities, abundance, and collaboration. Same reality, different neurological filter. And the filter is determined entirely by whether you are trying or being. The consequence of not addressing the desperation frequency is that every technique you apply operates on top of a desperate foundation, and desperation corrupts every technique. You can visualize from desperation, you can affirm from desperation, you can script from desperation, and all of it produces more desperation. What can you do tonight? Before sleep, instead of trying to feel wealthy, simply stop trying to feel anything about money. Let your body relax completely. Let your financial thoughts dissolve. And notice what remains when trying stops. There is a natural state underneath the trying, a state of quiet okayness that has nothing to do with your bank account. That state is where manifestation actually begins, not from effort, from the absence of effort. But the second way trying sabotages your wealth is even more subtle because it disguises itself as spiritual practice. The second way is the visualization trap, and it catches almost every person who studies manifestation. Here is how it works. You learn that visualization creates reality. So you sit down every morning and visualize money flowing into your life. You see the numbers in your bank account. You imagine the lifestyle. You feel the emotion of having it all. And for 10 or 15 minutes you feel great. But then you open your eyes and you see your real bank account, your real bills, your real financial situation. And the gap between what you visualized and what you see creates a feeling of lack that is actually stronger than if you had never visualized at all. Because now you have a vivid picture of what you want, contrasted against the reality of what you have. And that contrast amplifies the signal of not having. Neville Goddard did not teach visualization the way most people practice it. He did not teach you to create a picture of what you want. He taught you to assume the state of already having it and to live from that state throughout the day. The difference is enormous. Visualization is something you do for 10 minutes. Assumption is something you are all day. Visualization is a practice you add to your routine. Assumption is a state you inhabit as your identity. When you visualize from the state of wanting, you reinforce wanting. When you assume from the state of having, you create having. The visualization is not the problem. The state from which you visualize is the problem. A woman in her early 60s described this trap perfectly. She told me, "I had the most beautiful vision board, pictures of everything I wanted. I looked at it every day for 3 years, and every time I looked at it, I felt the gap between those pictures and my life. The board was not manifesting my desires. It was cataloging my lack. When I took it down and simply started living as if I already had enough, more changed in 3 months than in 3 years of staring at pictures." Her vision board was a shrine to everything she did not have. Every glance reminded her subconscious that these things were absent. When she stopped trying to visualize wealth and started assuming wealth as her natural state, the trying dissolved and the having began. The consequence of the visualization trap is that your daily practice actively reinforces the distance between you and your desire. 10 minutes of visualization followed by 14 hours of feeling, the contrast creates a net negative. What can you do instead? Stop scheduling visualization sessions. Instead, throughout the day, simply assume. When you check your bank account, assume that more is coming naturally. When you pay a bill, assume that the money is easily replaced. When you make a financial decision, make it from the calm of someone who already has more than enough. This is not visualization. This is assumption. And assumption operates 24 hours a day, not 10 minutes. There is a way to test whether your practice is visualization or assumption right now. Ask yourself this question: when I think about my desired financial reality, do I feel longing or do I feel recognition? Longing is the signature of visualization from wanting. It is the ache of something beautiful that is not yet yours. Recognition is the signature of assumption from having. It is the quiet familiarity of something that already belongs to you. Like seeing your own reflection. You do not long for your reflection. You recognize it. When your financial desire produces recognition instead of longing, you have crossed from visualization to assumption. And that crossing is where manifestation actually begins, not before. Everything before that crossing was practice. Useful practice, necessary practice, but practice. The real creation starts when longing transforms into recognition, and that transformation does not come through more effort. It comes through less, through releasing the gap between where you are and where you want to be, through living as if the gap does not exist, because in the quantum field, it does not. But the third way trying sabotages your wealth is the most insidious because it operates through the one thing you believe is helping you. Before I continue, if this is changing how you understand your relationship with money and manifestation, share this video with someone who has been trying hard to manifest wealth without results. Their effort is not the problem. Their effort is literally the problem, and this video can show them the exit from the trying trap. Subscribe because the upcoming videos will reveal advanced techniques that only work when the foundation of effortless assumption is in place. The third way is the action addiction, and it is the hardest one to let go of because society worships it. You have been told your entire life that action creates results. Work hard, hustle, grind, take massive action, and in the physical world, there is truth to this. But in the quantum world, where reality is actually created. Action without the correct state is motion without direction. It is a hamster running on a wheel. Lots of movement, zero progress. Neville Goddard taught something that most people find deeply uncomfortable. He said that the state precedes the action, not the other way around. You do not take action to create the state. You enter the state, and the right action naturally follows. When you try to manifest money through action, you are doing it backwards. You are trying to force the effect to create the cause. And that inversion is why the action feels exhausting, produces minimal results, and never seems to get you where you want to be. Think about the last time something good happened to you financially without you trying to make it happen. A referral that appeared from nowhere. An opportunity that landed in your lap. A check you forgot about. These things came not because of your action, but because of your state. You were in a state of openness, and the field delivered what matched that state. Now think about the times you tried hardest, the job applications you agonized over, the business plans you forced into existence, the deals you pushed through with sheer willpower. How many of those produced lasting results? And how much did they cost you in stress, health, and joy? A former entrepreneur in his mid-50s told me something that captures this perfectly. He said, "I built my first 3 businesses through pure force. 14-hour days, no weekends, no vacations. All 3 made money. All 3 nearly killed me. My 4th business I built differently. I entered the state of already being successful before I wrote a single business plan. I made decisions from calm instead of panic. I took action from fullness instead of desperation. That business grew 3 times faster with half the effort, not because I had better ideas, because I had a better state." His action was the same. His state was different, and the state determined the result. Here is the deeper truth about action that most people never hear. Action from the right state is effortless. It does not feel like work. It feels like flow, like the natural next step, like walking through an open door rather than breaking down a wall. And financial results that come from effortless action tend to be sustainable. They do not require constant maintenance because they were not forced into existence. They were allowed into existence, and things that are allowed have a stability that forced things never have. Neville Goddard did not say do not act. He said do not act from the wrong state. He said enter the state first. Let the state settle into your nervous system. Let it become your new normal. And then notice what actions feel natural. Those natural actions, arising from a state of having rather than needing, carry a completely different energetic charge. And the quantum field responds to them as if they are confirmation of an already existing reality rather than desperate attempts to create a new one. The consequence of action addiction is that you exhaust yourself physically while your subconscious continues broadcasting lack. You work harder and harder while your field pushes money further and further away. What can you do instead? Before any financial action, pause. Take one breath and check your state. Am I doing this from desperation or from calm? Am I taking this action because I am trying to force a result or because it feels like the natural next step for someone who already has enough? If the action comes from trying, pause. Wait until your state shifts to having. Then act. The action might look identical on the outside, but the state behind it will be completely different, and the quantum field responds to the state, not the action. Now the 4th way, trying sabotages your wealth, is the one that seals the entire pattern in place. The 4th way is the timeline obsession, and it is the final lock on the cage of trying. When you try to manifest money, you inevitably attach a timeline. I need this by next month. I want to double my income this year. I need $10,000 by Friday. Each timeline creates a deadline, and each deadline creates pressure. And pressure is the emotional signature of someone who does not have something yet and needs it to arrive by a specific time. The quantum field does not operate on your timeline. It operates on the principle of state coherence. When your state is coherent with having, the manifestation arrives. Not on your schedule, on the schedule of maximum alignment. Neville Goddard called this the bridge of incidents. He said that once you assume the state of the wish fulfilled A series of natural events unfold to bring you to that state. But those events follow their own logic, not yours. They might arrive faster than you expected, or through channels you never anticipated. But they cannot arrive while you are monitoring the clock, because monitoring the clock is an act of not having. It is checking to see if the package arrived yet, and each check broadcasts, "I still do not have it." A retired teacher in her early 60s described her breakthrough with timelines. She said, "I gave the universe a deadline. I said I need financial stability by December. December came and nothing had changed. I felt devastated. Then I realized that my deadline was an act of desperation, not faith. When I released the timeline completely and simply lived in the feeling of already having stability, it arrived in February, 2 months after my deadline. But it came in a form I never could have planned, a form that was better than anything my timeline could have produced." Her deadline was not a goal. It was a cage. It confined the quantum field to her limited imagination and her limited timeline. When she released it, the field delivered something her conscious mind could never have designed. The consequence of timeline obsession is that you compress the infinite creativity of the quantum field into the narrow window of your expectations, and the field cannot deliver through a window that small. There is a paradox about timelines that Neville Goddard understood deeply. The moment you release a deadline, you often receive what you wanted faster than if you had kept it, not always, but often enough that it reveals something important about how the quantum field operates. A deadline is a contraction. It narrows the field's options. It says, "I need this specific thing by this specific date through channels I can imagine." But the quantum field's creativity is infinite. It has access to possibilities you cannot imagine, people you have not met, circumstances that do not yet exist in your awareness, connections that would seem random but are actually precisely orchestrated. When you release the deadline, you release the contraction, and the field expands into its full creative capacity. It finds roots to your desire that your conscious mind could never have designed. Roots that are faster, more elegant, and more satisfying than anything you planned. This is why Neville said that the bridge of incidents is always a surprise, not the destination. The destination is what you assumed. But the route is the field's creative expression, and that expression requires space. Space that deadlines do not allow. What can you do? Release every financial deadline, not your goals, your deadlines. Let your assumption be timeless. I am wealthy is a state without an expiration date. It is not, "I will be wealthy by June." It is, "I am wealthy." Period. And that timeless assumption gives the quantum field unlimited space to deliver in the most perfect way possible. Now I want to guide you through a practice that dissolves all 4 sabotage patterns in one experience. Find a comfortable position. Close your eyes. And for the next few minutes, stop trying. Completely. Do not try to relax. Let relaxation happen. Do not try to breathe deeply. Let your breath find its own depth. Do not try to feel wealthy. Let every financial feeling dissolve until only stillness remains. In this stillness, there is nothing to chase, nothing to attract, nothing to manifest, nothing to force. There is only you, and in this moment, you are enough, not because of what you have, because of what you are. Now, from this place of non-trying, introduce the simplest assumption. Everything is already handled, not will be handled, is handled, already done, already complete, nothing to do, nothing to fix, nothing to chase. Feel how your body responds to this assumption. The shoulders drop, the jaw softens, the breathing deepens. That physical response is the sound of trying dissolving, and in its place, a quiet certainty emerges. The certainty of someone who knows that their wealth is not something they need to create. It is something that already exists and is simply unfolding in its own perfect timing. Stay here as long as you need. There is nowhere to go, nothing to achieve in this moment, only being. And being is the only creative act that the quantum field recognizes as truth. If your mind starts generating thoughts during this practice, do not fight them. Watch them like clouds passing through a sky. They are not you. They are your old programming passing through your awareness. Let them pass. Do not engage. Do not push. Just notice and return to stillness. Each thought that passes without your engagement weakens the trying pattern. Each moment of stillness strengthens the being pattern. You are not meditating, you are not manifesting, you are not doing anything, and that nothing is the most powerful financial act you can perform. Because in nothing, there is no trying. In nothing, there is no absence. In nothing, there is only the quiet presence of someone who already has everything they need. And that presence is the seed from which everything grows, not through force, through simply being what you already are. What you just experienced is the opposite of everything the manifestation industry teaches. They say, try harder, visualize more, affirm louder, act bigger, and all of that creates more trying, which creates more absence, which creates more trying. It is a loop designed to keep you busy, not to make you wealthy. Neville Goddard stood outside that loop. He said the only technique is to assume and rest, assume the state of the wish fulfilled, and rest in that assumption. Not working to maintain it, resting in it, the way you rest in the knowledge that the sun will rise tomorrow. You do not try to make the sun rise, you do not visualize it, you do not affirm it. You simply know it will happen, because it always has. That knowing is the quality of assumption that manifests, not the excited trying, not the desperate hoping, the quiet knowing. Tonight, your only job is to stop trying, to let your body rest, to let your mind quiet, and to let the assumption of wealth sit inside you like a fact that requires no attention, no effort, and no proof. Because a fact that requires proof is not yet a fact, and a fact that requires effort is not yet real. Real things simply are, and your wealth simply is. You just stopped trying long enough to notice. There is one more thing I want you to understand before tonight. The hardest part of stopping is not the stopping itself, it is what happens after you stop. Your old programming will fight back. It will produce anxiety. It will generate urgent thoughts about money. It will tell you that resting is irresponsible, that you should be doing something, that nothing will happen unless you push. These thoughts are not truth. They are the old program noticing that it is being replaced and fighting for survival. Every program fights for survival. Every habit resists dissolution, and the trying habit is no different. When these thoughts come, and they will, do not fight them. Do not try to stop them. Just notice them, and return to the assumption of having, not with effort, with the gentleness of someone who knows that the old programming is a child throwing a tantrum. You do not fight a child's tantrum. You let it exhaust itself, and then the child rests. Your old programming will do the same. It will tantrum for a while, maybe a few days, maybe a week, and then it will rest. And in that rest, the new assumption will quietly take root. Not because you forced it, because you allowed it. And allowing is the only power that the quantum field truly respects. Write in the comments, I stopped trying. I already have it. Those words are the exact energetic shift this entire video teaches. Not reaching. Having, not working toward, already there. Share this video with anyone trapped in the cycle of trying harder to manifest money, because the exit from that cycle is not more effort, it is less. It is the radical act of stopping and letting the quantum field do what it has been trying to do all along, deliver what is already yours. Subscribe and turn on notifications, because in the next video we will reveal why the first 7 days after you stop trying are the most dangerous, when your old programming fights back the hardest, and the exact method to stay in the state of having when everything around you says otherwise. Do not miss it. Stop trying, start having. The shift begins now.